Thank you guys all for being here. Obviously great to be in person. My 8th year in the conference, so it's nice to be here at this beautiful facility. Obviously excited to conference to be able to put this on, but this has been a wonderful couple days. Obviously great for our student athletes and for their conference to be on display, and appreciate all the media being out here to talk about our conference and all the wonderful things. Obviously very excited about the 2023 football season. Looking ahead to what we do, have high expectations like all the other 13 teams in the conference, right? Our expectations, our goals are to win the AAC championship and continue to compete at a high level. Obviously a lot of time between now and September 2nd, but been pleased with the progress this offseason and excited about this upcoming season as well.
All right, we'll open up to questions. If you have a question, we will, please raise your hand and we'll get the mic to you.
Ryan, how much stock do you put in the preseason media polls? You guys were picked to finish 4th this year.
Yeah, look, whatever the media thinks, that's great. We obviously have not earned the right to be picked much higher. We understand where we need this program to be, and so got great respect for the media's decision, but we can't put any stock in that. We understand that Tulane was predicted to finish 7th last year, and we understand the type of season they had. Every single year we see that teams are predicted to finish in certain orders, and it truly is. And I think one of the things that's unique is, right, we base it off of what we know the roster is from last year, maybe some returning guys. But with 30 to 45% of roster turnover in all of college football, I think we're going to be surprised by some of these teams that are going to, hey, they added this guy, we didn't know about him. So I think one of those things that we're going to continue to see throughout the landscape of football is, right, well, maybe we didn't know as much about this team as we thought we did going into it with the new faces. But look, a lot of respect for what the media wanted, but we won't talk about it as a team or a program. Like I mentioned in the opening statement, Frank, our goal is the AAC championship, and we put our blinders on when we get to work in training camp, and we'll look up in December and see where we're at.
Tim Buckley with the Daily Memphian. Ryan, obviously Tulane's coming off a strong season, and then you got the 6 new teams coming in. UTSA has a strong resume. But with Houston gone, Cincinnati gone, UCF gone, how much do you guys expect that you should now be one of the powers in the conference just based on past history and what it looks like now?
Yeah, well, our expectations never changed. It doesn't matter what the conference looks like. Obviously, a lot of respect for the 6 new teams coming in. Like we talked about, UTSA being a back-to-back Conference USA champions, what Coach Traylor's been able to do there. Obviously, immense respect for them in that program and all the programs coming in. And I think you're going to see with the ever-changing rosters, we can't sit there and say, well, this team was that last year because things changed. But our expectations have never changed. My 8 years at Memphis, every single year we line up with the goal to be the champion. The conference championships, that hasn't changed from year 1 to year 4 as the head coach, regardless of who we play. Look, we've got a lot of new opponents that we'll be facing this year. Excited about those opportunities. I think the conference is actually stronger with these teams coming in. Really excited about adding to them, and it's going to be fun to go out there and compete.
Ryan Moss with Tiger Sports Report. Ryan, what are your thoughts on the rule changes, specifically the one about not stopping the clock, after a first down, except when there's 2 minutes left in the second and fourth quarter? Does that change how you're going to coach a game?
No, we've discussed it. Obviously, the rules of the game are going to be ever-changing. We understand what that means. Now it's obviously we're going to try to implement any situation that occurs with a rule change into our fall training camp. And so we'll go through it. We'll discuss it with the team because I think it's important they understand. But you look at that rule implementation, I don't think it's going to have a major factor. Obviously, we talk about the time of the game, right? I was fortunate enough to coach in the NFL for a while, and everybody talks about the speed of those games a little bit quicker. How do we reduce the time in college football? And they say on average it may be 7 to 10 plays less a game, but I don't think it sits there and affects your play calling within a sense. We've got to have an understanding. Our players got to understand maybe 2-minute situations may be a little bit different, 4-minute situations at the end of a game trying to figure things out. But we'll discuss that with our team. We'll continue to educate them. But from a play caller standpoint, yeah, maybe adjust one thing or two, but it's not going to have a major impact on the way we plan.
With the transfers that you guys had leaving and looking at the transfers you guys brought in, how do you feel that how you guys were able to manage the roster based on your need?
Yeah, we're really excited about all the new faces we brought in. Look, it doesn't matter the relationships. It doesn't matter where you're at, right? Whatever it may be, there's going to be a multitude of guys that are going to leave every single year, and that's just the reality of college football. We lost quite a few walk-ons as well that we're hoping to explore opportunities, maybe receive scholarships. But we brought in so many unique players I think fit what we do at the University of Memphis. Frank, I think the guys that we added are some of them are going to be immediate starters. They're going to have a major impact on our team in a successful way. And then other guys we brought in saying, okay, hey, you still got a couple years that we're going to develop you to get you where you need to. I think everybody thinks as a transfer has to be an immediate starter. Sometimes that's not necessarily the case. But I'm really excited about the guys we brought in. I think a lot of them are going to come in. And then what's been so nice, and everybody says, with all the new faces that continue to occur in college football, how do you keep the camaraderie? How do you keep the bonding? How do you keep it together? And credit to our vets, right? Some of them that you guys will have the opportunity to meet, these last few days are here. The team bonding, the locker room's been great. They've accepted these new guys. They fit right in, and they're our type of guys that I think will lead us to success on and off the field.
Related to that, in the portal era, how has your philosophy changed, and how do you balance what it used to be, which was building a program, to now basically just building a team year to year?
Yeah, I still believe in the same philosophies, and I'll never change, right? 25 years in this profession, I still believe there's a right way to build a program. And I think you do it from the ground up by finding the right type of guys that fit your program, your university, what you want, your culture. And you start with that legwork, and how do you continue to build that up the right way? And that will never change. Now, the way you go about building that roster, and I know the college football doesn't like to hear the word roster management, it's a little bit different than it's ever been. And so we're going to continue to explore different ways. I think every year's a new year. There's new rules that go into place, right? The transfer windows may come, they may shrink, they may grow. Keeping your current roster intact if it's what you want it to look like, I think that's important. But I think you've got to address it and be aware. And now the off seasons have certainly changed. Coaches are so used to having some downtime in January, and it's completely changed. March has changed. Obviously, we'll see what the NCAA rules change if there's still a spring transfer window. We'll see about that. But it's the ever-changing days of college football, and the landscape probably will never be the same. I'm sure this time next year we'll be saying, Ryan, how do you feel about this new rule or this transfer? And guess what? We'll address it as we come. But credit to our administration, the people that I'm so fortunate to surround myself every single day. They assist in making sure that we stay ahead of the curve anytime we hear of new legislation or new rules, that we are doing everything in our power to have success with it.
Coach Mitch Lucas from the Kilgore News Herald and footballbeat.com. Been to several media days, several this year, the Big 12, SEC. But the American Athletic Conference kind of fired me up a little bit. This is an exciting conference. Can you just talk a little bit about the conference this year and just overall about the energy kind of surrounding the conference?
Yeah, I think it's a renewed sense of energy. I think, right, having been in the conference, like I said, for 8 years now, there's a new excitement. I think that this new blood that's coming in, there's some powerful brands out there, right? There's some name recognition for what these programs were able to do, and the success they've had at their previous stops, and the coaches, the players. I mean, it's talented teams coming in. And then let's not forget about the teams that are coming back, right? You talk about the success of the teams that have come in this conference throughout the years. Even some of the teams that exited, like we don't want to ignore those success that those teams had. So I think what's happened is now it's a strong brand in this conference, and it's very exciting. I'm excited to actually go. I've never been to Charlotte, to play a football game. Obviously, I've been there for other reasons, but to go there and see what it's like. And I think that's something exciting for our players too. You get to the point where some of our guys have been around. Okay, we know exactly what it's going to look like. And now there's some comfort in that as well. But I think it's new challenges, and when I say with new challenges, new opportunities, and we're very excited about it.
Questions of Coach? The back there.
Gary Smith with NOLA.com. Just what was the biggest difference you saw in Tulane last year during their run, and do you feel like what they accomplished is sustainable?
Yeah, look, Tulane's always had a strong program. We've always had a lot of respect for Coach Fritz and what he's been able to do. And you look at the Memphis battles versus Tulane, they've always been a lot closer than people think. And even when Memphis was riding its high horse, we've always struggled going down Tulane and playing football, and I think a lot of teams are starting to recognize that. And, you know, he was able to build a program, obviously immense talent on that roster with what they've been able to build. And, you know, that's the biggest thing is can the success be sustainable? I think, obviously, got a lot of respect for them, so I certainly think they can. Obviously, we hope that we're able to knock them off. But you know, you look at the years of what's occurred within this conference, and you guys that have studied this and understand this that have been around, right? When we first came into the conference, I think Cincinnati was a 2-10 team, and they had the worst offense in the conference, and their offense coordinator was a guy named Zach Taylor, who's the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. You know, and they changed and flipped things around and became a powerhouse. We were able to see what Coach Herman was able to do with the success at Houston, right, when they first came in. Memphis, obviously, at one time was higher up and considered a national powerhouse. Obviously, we hope to get back there. Then you look at the success UC have had, right, and then Tulane. So you kind of look at what this conference has been able to do, the ebbs and flows of it. It's a talented deal, right? We all know that maintaining that success is one of the hardest things in any aspect of life, much less college football. Tulane's going to do it the right way, and we know they'll continue to be a force to be reckoned with. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.